In this video, I rank quality of life improvements I would really like to see in the game. All of this information is my own opinion and I make no guarantees to the accuracy of anything. So the first quality of life improvement on the list is a minor one, but something that would be nice. The ability to sort characters by their progress to the next star rank, so you can easily see who's the closest. You can sort by star rank, but not actually how close they are to the next star rank. Marvel Strike Force, another mobile game, has this ability, as you can see from this video. This seems like something very easy for the devs to add and would be a nice touch. Next up, Portrait Mode to see a bigger picture of your roster. Again, another feature in Marvel Strike Force where you can turn your smartphone into portrait mode, and it makes the UI smaller with more information on it. This is something that I think could be implemented fairly easily into Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Okay, this one here has always kind of annoyed me. When you are on the mod screen in the Show Equipped Mods view, I wish there was a way to go directly to the characters who have mods equipped so I can see all of their mods. I think simply tapping and holding on a mod should take you to the character that has it equipped. This would be really helpful and convenient. This next one here is for all the whales out there, and I can't believe it's something the game devs haven't fixed, considering how money hungry they seem to be. The problem with the store screen is that when you tap on a pack to view the details, it puts you back to the beginning of the list when you close out of the details. That's really annoying if you are comparing the difference between multiple packs because you have to keep scrolling back after you look at each one. Okay, so this one I think would be a little bit harder for the devs to implement, but with programming, as all programmers know, nothing is impossible. In Galactic Challenges, you have all of these feats. It would be really nice if during the battle you could actually see if the feats are being completed, not have to wait until the battle is over to know if you hit your goals. Back to mods again. Can we seriously just remove all mods from the game that are less than 5 dots? When mods first came out, 5-dot mods were top tier, but not really any longer. I don't know any players at all that use less than 5-dot mods on their characters. Maybe some people who are just starting out in the game, but let's just give them 5-dot mods too. Relic mats. When you are using the scavenger, full pieces give you more points, but you need to craft those full pieces first. Sadly, if you have a deep roster of characters that are geared up pretty high, you may not even have a character that needs that gear piece, so you can't actually craft it. What I would like to see is the ability to allow crafting of all pieces inside of the scavenger. The game needs another overhaul of the chat system. You long-term players out there know that they have made a lot of improvements over the years to guild chat, but it's still pretty outdated. The biggest problem is that gear level, relic level, and donation spam. It makes actual chat messages hard to find and read. Even worse, the chat history log doesn't go back very far at all, so good luck seeing messages that are more than a day old at best. And also, could we have a global chat like most other games have, instead of just guild chat and private chat channels? Why do we not have this? I guess because this game is targeted more for kids than adults, and maybe the devs are worried about offensive language. However, this game has an offensive language filter you can't disable, and it often filters out words that aren't even offensive at all. Very annoying. Squad saving recently just got a major overhaul, but it still needs some more tweaks. First of all, can we please get rid of the recommended squad category, or at least make it so the player can delete that category? It's mostly useless, and they never update it. Secondly, we really need a way to sort the squad category tabs that you create on the left. It really sucks that you can't change the order once you make them. Most games that have a tab system allow you to sort tabs. This next one is a huge one that I think everyone would love to see: assault battle rewards. Assault battles are one of the most monotonous aspects of the game. The fights are very long, and you have to do so many tiers to get all the rewards. Could they please just make it like all of the galactic challenges, where if you complete the top tier, it gives you the rewards of the lower tiers too. My god, seriously, these fights take way too long. Mod loadouts are nice, but what would be even cooler would be a snapshot system that would save the mod loadouts of everyone on your roster. That would make life so much simpler, so if you screw mods up on a bunch of characters, you could revert to a previous snapshot. This next improvement would be huge, and probably super easy for the developers to do. The ability to filter your roster by multiple tags. Currently, you can only filter by one tag at a time. Here in Marvel Strike Force, you have the ability to do that, and it's very, very nice. This one bugs a lot of people in Grand Arena Championships. The infamous auto-deploy. If you don't set your defense in time, the game automatically sets it for you, and it creates squads that make no sense at all. For the defender, this is almost a guaranteed loss, but for the attacker, it's an annoying thing that hurts your score, because the enemy's auto-deploy is going to put all of their galactic legends and strongest characters on defense. That's annoying, because an actual player would probably never do that. They would keep some galactic legends for attacking, and only put a few on defense, making the match pretty fair. But because you don't know that your opponent isn't going to set their defense, so chances are you put your own galactic legends on defense, and now have none to take all theirs out. Now, it's true that as long as you set your defense manually for the first match of the week, the auto-deploy will deploy that same defense in subsequent matches. But what I would like to see is a defense screen where you can set your defense there, and the game will always use that until you change it in every single Grand Arena. It would save so much time and aggravation. Putting the auto-deploy issue aside, it is still rather annoying and time-consuming to have to set your defense squads on every single goddamned match. This next one is something players have been requesting for years, but the game devs ignore, and we all know why. The ability to set your defense in Squad Arena and change it at any time, rather than the clumsy system we have always had, where your defense is automatically set to the last squad you used in a fight. Of course, the devs won't change this because they like money, and they would rather you spend crystals to set your defense if you've used up your 5 free battles for the day. Somehow, though, Marvel Strike Force, which makes a lot more money at the moment than Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, has no problem letting their players switch out their defense at any time. On to Territory Wars. This mode hasn't been changed or improved much at all since it was originally released. One of the things that bugs me the most is that the players' stats are very vague and useless, and you can only see the stats of players in your guild. But on to Marvel Strike Force yet again, which also has Territory Wars called Alliance War, and you can see a lot more useful stats on each player. But not only your guild, but the enemy guild's stats too. But this here will really mind someone who has only played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. In Marvel Strike Force, you can also see the history of all of the battles everyone in the war has made. You can see what they used, what they killed, how long the battle took, etc., etc. Wow, amazing. Now, the game devs of Galaxy of Heroes have said before on the forums that adding stats like this to Territory War would be too costly and expensive to do. So I decided to do some research and math. According to this website, the game had about 80 million players in 2019. Let's assume that that has grown to 100 million players in 2021, and that they are all active players that participate in territory war, which is very generous. I looked at how many stats would be needed for territory wars and came up with about 64 characters of text per player. So let's multiply 100 million players by 64 characters of text, and of course we get 6.4 billion. Let's be even more generous here and multiply it 10 just for the heck of it, just in case we really need 640 characters of text per player for the stats. 64 billion. Now, in standard 8-bit ASCII format, a text character takes up roughly 1 byte of data. So, 64 billion characters of text, data passed online to servers, would be about 64 gigabytes. By 2021 standards, that's really not a lot of data. Looking at popular online web hosting and traffic services, I reached the conclusion that it should, in theory, only cost the game developers anywhere from $10 to $20 per territory war in data fees to have those stats in the game. That's really a drop in the bucket for a company that makes $150+ million per year from its players. Of course, that's just for data traffic, so what about storage? Looking at dedicated virtual storage, even a huge server with lots of traffic capabilities would only cost about $2,000 per month, which is less than 0.02. Yes, 0.02% of their annual revenue. Yes, Marvel Strike Force currently makes more money per month than Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, but Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes has been around much longer and has accrued more than $1 billion of revenue since its release. If Marvel Strike Force can have detailed war stats, surely too can Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. We're not done yet. This next one is one players have complained about for years: opening bronziums with ally points. If you have a lot of ally points, it takes forever, since you have to open one at a time. People have resorted to emulators and auto-clickers to make their lives easier and not have to spend 13 hours a day in a mobile game. Now, there is an online third-party service called Hot Utils, which will log into the game for you and open all of the bronziums at once. The creators of Hot Utils do state that technically this violates the terms of service and can get your account banned. But so far no players have been banned, and I don't think the developers will ban anyone, since there's millions of people now who have resorted to using third-party service to make up for the horrible work the developers themselves have put into open bronziums. And last but not least, the #1 quality of life fix for Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes: adding the ability to use the scroll bar like every other goddamn scroll bar in every other app, game, or website. This is the only app or game I've ever played where you can't tap or click on the scroll bar and drag it to scroll. This is super annoying to have to keep swiping up and down on your smartphone screen to go through your whole inventory. Worst of all is the mod screen. It takes forever to get to the bottom of the list if you have a lot of mods. So long that I'm afraid I may turn to dust before I get to the bottom. Not to make it look like Marvel Strike Force isn't without its own problems that can be fixed or improved, but hey, look, in Marvel Strike Force you can tap and hold on the scroll bar to move around. Amazing, how nice, the best, really, believe me. But why do I think this is the #1 quality of life improvement? Well, before the developers say that this would be too hard or costly to implement, I just want to make a small confession. I, myself, am a mobile app developer and programmer. I know that on the Android and iOS ecosystems, toggling the ability to make a scroll bar draggable is literally only 2 lines of code. Granted, that is with the native Java and Swift languages of the Android and iOS operating systems, and Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes uses the Unity game engine with C# code. But a quick Google search reveals it actually isn't too hard to make a draggable scroll bar in Unity either. Actually, the default scroll bar in Unity is indeed draggable. So, either the developers purposely made it that way, or, more likely, is when they made the custom UI skin for the scroll bar, they did a poor job with the coding on the skin. But this post I found online seems to detail how to fix it. But wait, I have some bonus ones. These next things on my wish list aren't exactly quality of life improvements, but they are two things I want to see in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes that Marvel Strike Force has. First off, better graphics. OMG, the graphics and effects in Galaxy of Heroes is so dated, it still feels like a 2015 game. In Marvel Strike Force, check out the sweet graphics and camera angles during the fight. This next one is really going to blow the minds of people that only play Galaxy of Heroes and have never played other newer mobile games like Marvel Strike Force. For a long time, players have been requesting two things: a sandbox mode and real-time PvP battles between two players. Marvel Strike Force has exactly this, with a thing called Real-Time Arena. In Real-Time Arena, you can use just about any character you want as long as you have it unlocked. You can battle unlimited times with no cooldowns or refreshes. And best of all, you are matched against another real player, not AI, and it's a turn-based match where each player takes a turn, on a turn timer of course. This is an absolute blast and adds a lot of value to the game, and a lot of replayability. Not only that, but they do run real-time arena events where you can get rewards too. Now, the Galaxy of Heroes with their usual song and dance have stated before that real-time PvP would be too costly to implement into the game. I think by too costly, what they really mean is how they would try to monetize it would be too costly to you. Okay, let's just take a few facts into consideration. 1. Galaxy of Heroes has made more than $1 billion in revenue since its launch. 2. Marvel Strike Force has only made several hundred million since its launch. 3. Yes, Marvel Strike Force is currently making more money per month for its owners than Galaxy of Heroes is. I wonder why could it be? Maybe because Marvel Strike Force is a better thought-out game with more content and more quality of life features for its players? I don't know. So, if Marvel Strike Force can afford it, why can't Galaxy of Heroes? Maybe by too costly, the devs mean the programming cost to implement a huge feature like this so late into the game's stage of development. Let's do some math. First off, the average annual salary of a single game developer is about $70,000, 255 cents. Now, let's take a random guess and say that they would have to hire 5 new programmers onto the team to program a real-time PvP feature, which is probably about 5 times the amount of programmers they currently have working on the game. So, $70,255 times 5 is $351,000, 275 cents. Big number, but still only 0.18% of what their 2019 annual revenue was. LOL. Even if they hired 100 new programmers on to get this feature added ASAP, which is totally unrealistic, they would never need 100 new programmers to add a new feature to the game, it would still only cost them less than 4% of their annual 2019 revenue on their workers' salary. Jesus, where does all of their revenue go? I'm not optimistic we will ever see real-time PvP in Galaxy of Heroes, or a sandbox mode, but I remain hopeful someday that it could happen. Probably after Galaxy of Heroes sales drop too much to Marvel Strike Force competition, after the devs realize what truly makes players happy and want to keep spending money in a game. So what do you think? Were all of my quality of life suggestions good ones? Are there any here you would really like to see added, or any that you disagree with? Do you have any other quality of life improvement ideas that I didn't add? Leave your comments below. And don't forget to give this video a like and share it with your friends. Maybe if it gets enough interest, the developers will actually add some of these things into the game. But that's wishful thinking.